Hi, this is Jilly Bling. How are you? Today's project is using Desert Details bundle. And this bundle is about to retire. And I was thinking, oh, I shouldn't do a Gotta Have It box. Gotta Have It means if you buy the bundle from me, you get card kits for free. And I'll be making, normally it's 5, but this one I'll be making 3 designs and you get one of each of the card kits for free. But you could get the dies if you order the stamp set, which is regular price, and the dies are 60% off. The dies are beautiful. So I kept on thinking, no, but every time I came into my room, I was drawn to this set. So here we are. Let's give it a try. Let's see what happens. And wait till you see this first project. This project I saw online. Tammy Wilson, artisan, Stampin' Up! Artisan, Tammy Wilson made this project. Not sure what she did on the inside. Mine's a bit simple, but I love the outside. Look at all that sparkle. Maybe that's why I like it. And I love me some velvet. But I love this card, all the layers. So this is today's project. And like I said, there will be 3 using this bundle. Desert Details. Okay, you ready to get started? Can you see that? How about right there? Let's hope it stays. Okay, so thank you, Artisan Tammy Wilson. I already mentioned that. Here is the velvet ribbon, and this ribbon will be retiring. It's in Pale Papaya. Pale Papaya is going away. Faux velvet trim. I love it. I think I need some clothes or jammies or under something made with this. It's so pretty. It's very soft. So we'll use that in just a minute. Words. Oh, and look at these pretty gold sparkly, what do they call them? Gold faceted adhesive back sequins. Very pretty. We'll be using those. This is all about like velvet, linen thread, texture, lots of layers, and then bling. Just throw bling in there. Like this copper foil. Did you know when you buy copper foil sheets, you get 3 different kinds of copper foil? Yeah, I didn't know until I pulled it out to get regular copper. I'm like, what is that rainbow looking stuff? So I had to use it, and I love it. So let the fun begin. But you know what? Looking at it over here off to the side, it is quite sparkly. And as a person who gets migraines regularly, to me, that means I'm getting an aura. So I'm going to turn it over. But we'll visit this in just a minute. That's no reason not to use it. It's just, whew, it's really sparkly. So this is gray granite. Be using that. And since we're thinking about it, let's just do the words. So the words are hand cut. Don't worry, you can do it. A lot of people are like, I can't do that. But it doesn't have to be perfect at all. As a matter of fact, this whole card is about just, we're going to be distressing some of the edges. It doesn't have to be perfect at all. So if this little piece, the word begin, is bigger or smaller than other pieces, that's okay. Let the fun, and when Tammy did it, she had let the as one cut out, and then fun as a separate one. So I'm going to do that this time. I might cut them apart. Who knows? On here, I have them each separate. Okay, so I pick up this cart, and I have to admit, I don't know if you could tell that it weighs a ton. Somebody, and I know you all never do this. I had this designer paper attached so that I could work on the top. And I had the inside Pale Papaya piece attached. And then I got too busy making the bow, cutting out the flowers. Woohoo, fine. And then when I looked at the card, it's like something is missing. Where's that designer paper? I don't know. I put it on the wrong side. So when I flipped the card, see this printed designer paper? When I flipped it over, it was right there. Where was the Pale Papaya layer? It was, turn it over, right here. I'm like, oh my gosh, I haven't done that in a long time. Anyhow, This card is like many, many layers. There are designer paper, granite gray, then granite gray card base. It weighs a ton. Whoever gets this card, they know I really care. They got lots of extra paper. So this is for stamping the flowers, and we'll do something a little bit fancy with that. And I'm going to get a paper underneath here. Let me get my stamp pad. Because looking at white on white, there, that's better. Okay, so when you look at this one, there's two different size flowers. See how it has the gray granite around the outside edge? A little bit of saffron, a little bit of papaya. So I want to do that. Multicolor on one image. And as I'm looking at this, you know, I wonder if those are leaves. Because these leaves are pointy, where these are a little bit more rounded. So I like to say, oh, I should do those in green. But because this is monochromatic, I'm going to pretend like I realized that before. And I put them in granite gray granite. Yeah, I knew that. Huh? Okay, so to get multicolors on one stamp, I'm going to apply the color right to the rubber stamp. All these things in one little spot. Why does this happen? Okay, daubers. Daubers are going to go directly onto the rubber. So I'll start out with gray granite. Gray granite is staying. Yay! And I'll put the gray granite on the leaves. How is that for improvising? All the way around. So guess what I did today? You don't know how many attempts I've tried to accomplish this task in the past few months. Today, I contacted someone to help me with my blog. First, I did my blog a long time ago. I had somebody design it, paid way too much, but I've loved it. It's been a long time. So the first person I contacted, talked with her, and she said she'd call back to ask a few more questions. She never called back. Okay, so like 3 weeks went by, and I know I could have called her, but you know, if customer service is like that, I don't know that I want to be involved with her. Okay, so then I got a referral from a local shop. Great web designer. Okay, because I don't know what I need. I don't know what I want. And called her, and she says, I'm going to be upfront. I'll tell you right away. I will tell you what I think. There's no hiding or making it all sound pretty. I'm like, oh, okay. She goes, you need a blog update. This is so outdated. You need to change this and that. And I'm like, oh, okay. And then we had a date to meet. Okay, after you put the dauber on here, huff. Take your warm breath, re-moisten the stamp, and then stamp. Okay, I'm going to do one more because at the front of the card, that's pretty. I kind of wish the pale papaya was a little darker. And I'll do this little flower here. Okay, so yeah, that one wasn't good. The one that was telling me how wrong things are. I mean, you can kind of sugarcoat it a little bit. If things are wrong, that's fine. Let's fix them. But I was calling for a reason because all the things on my blog don't work. Okay. So for the third time, a few days ago, I called and I talked with another company and I said, I don't know what I need. I don't know what I should do, but I think I need help with getting links to work and email subscription to work. And she looked and she goes, yeah. And I said, and somebody told me I need a refresh. She goes, yeah, it's maybe a little dated. I mean, she was nice about it. That's all. That's all that's required or requested or hoped for. Anyhow, she's going to get back with me on a quote. So maybe everything on my blog right now is jillybling.com. Everything is going to change. I'm like, I'm not stuck to the design work that was all done in the colors and the feel. I don't care. I just want to put stuff out there. Oh, so such a relief to have someone on my side. Well, I say that now, probably until I get the quote, and then I'll go, oh boy, because it's not like I make any money. And I'm not going to ask Tony to, hey, let's do my blog. He'll be like, how much is that? Anyhow. That was exciting. My world, it's exciting. Finally, to get a real person is exciting. So this piece right here is going to be for that die. You're like, now what is that for? So, you know, before I show you this, look at these dies. There's this one. Lots of detail on it. Then there's this one. And look how perfectly they fit together. So, this piece is going to be here, and this piece is there. I'll cut that out. Cut it out! But this one gets decorated. So that is this piece, and it has a little bit of texture on it, but see how it's a bit vintagey looking? So we're going to get it all vintaged up. So if you're looking at it from afar, it's like, well, maybe you did a little something, not too much. But if you don't do it, it's really boring. And doing it is kind of fun. So let's first stamp this one. Okay, the flowers are done. So to stamp it, I'm going to use granite. Oh, and I have to make sure I clean this off because it has all kinds of colors on it right now. Okay, so here's the gray. Stamp off. Then, just a hint. Isn't that pretty? Okay, 3 flowers. That's good. Then take this, and I'm going to run it through my machine. Okay. So see how that adds a little bit of something? And next is a little bit more vintageness, and that is with aqua painter and the ink pad. And you know, I don't do this often. I probably should do it more often. It's kind of fun. So take your aqua painter, pick up a little bit of ink, then, where's my scissors? My scissors are probably right around here. Just tap on this, and it makes little freckles. Like really random. Do it a little bit more. Okay, so I'm going to hold this up so you can see the little freckles. See, you could barely see them, but it adds to the collage, the vintaginess of this card. Okay, so done with that. So now I can texture it, and you know, I wanted to use time-worn embossing folder, but it's busy, so I used an old retired one. But any kind of quiet or like a really repetitive pattern would be good on here, or even that artwork embossing folder. When I felt that, it's kind of textured now. I think the water made it raise up, so until it dries, it's going to be a little textured. Okay, so I'm going to use that embossing folder. I think it's called Subtle, but I really wanted time worn. But anything that just has a tiny little print. And you know what, I have it all done, and I didn't do the freckling on this one. Oh, darn, we have to do that again. It's kind of fun. Let's squeeze and tap, tap, tap. So today's been, I got a smudge there. That's okay. It's part of the vintaginess. Oh, there it goes. Oh, lots of stuff. Party's on. I squeezed it too much. That's okay. It's extra vintagey. So I tried to do this little freckling on the inside of the card. Kind of ruined it. I'll show you. So I did it, and I was trying to do it in the pale papaya. Look what it did to my words. Bad, bad, bad. Then I was trying to use the big stamp on here. It's like, no, that's overtaking that. And it just, yeah. Anyhow, this card has been a challenge. Dry. We'll let that sit for a minute. Hopefully. Okay, all that water, you need to dry. Let's get to building this card. We'll let that dry. Pale papaya. I like that color. I like lots of the new colors. My catalog should be coming tomorrow. I can't wait to have a paper copy in my hand. I could see it online right now, the catalog, and that's great, but when you have it in hand, then it seems real. I don't know why I'm like that. I did do a pre-order. When I get the pre-order, I'll, some people are doing unboxing videos, and I think it's kind of fun. I mean, if you're not interested, you don't have to tune in, but I think it's fun, so I might do that. But that hasn't even shipped yet. I think these people, they did the overnight or pay for it to come the next day processing. Every time I do that, it just sits here on the edge of my desk for a few days. So I don't do that anymore. Okay, so vintagey. We are going to vintage these next two layers. And I'll show you on the sample. And you don't have to. Not everyone likes vintaging. So when I hold this up, see over here how it's just a little bit roughed up? The only thing is on the underside of this designer paper is soft succulent paper. So if you look really hard, it's like you got some blue going on there. But that's okay. So to vintage it, you can take your finger. You could take your scissors, and I recommend keeping your snips closed because if they're open, it works really good, but you dull your little blades. There's no need to do that. This works just fine. So, vintage. I think Debbie sent a comment. She goes, I like the card, but not really a vintage girl. So, Debbie, for you, you don't have to do it. The edges are perfectly square and they lay together beautifully. No vintaging required. But I guess the collage, that's also kind of vintage. Yeah, the next ones won't be. The next two. The papers are so pretty that go with this product suite. And I hope to use quite a few of them. Vintage. I guess if you have any frustrations, perfect time to do this card. You can make yours like super vintagey. You could vintage all the layers. So these are going to lay just like that. See what I was saying about the succulent, soft succulent paper? See how it's kind of coming through? If that happens, just take your snips after you have it attached and push it underneath, or well, let it be there. That's okay. Glue. See, if I would have used regular adhesive when I did my whoops, I probably could have pulled it up. But no. You could see I glue good. Okay. Yeah, you could see that little bit. Just push it there to make it not so obvious. A little bit is okay showing through, but just not plain old. I know what color that is. That's soft succulent. Okay, out of all the new colors coming, I'm very happy about Misty Moonlight coming back, but most happy, you know what? I'll give you one clue based on my nail color and my Ultimate Sweater by Soft Surroundings. Bubble bath. Oh my gosh. I love me a pink though. Okay, so you could dry. And let's see what's next. What's next is the piece that I doused with my aqua painter. So it's still doused. Boy, I really got that. That goes onto here, but I could just stick it on there. It's still wet, but that's okay. It will still stick down. And the water smeared the image, but because it's collage, a lot of it will be covered up. So before this can attach, I need the linen thread. And this is going to go on with dimensionals. Dimensionals. That's going to hold the linen thread. And then today is a dimensional kind of day. Probably don't need this many, but that's okay. Hold that in place. See, doesn't that look good together? Linen thread, gray granite, they kind of go. Okay, I think this just can be attached just like that. Okay, let's start building this thing. So, double bow, I can do that. Double bow, and then so I was wanting it to look a little vintagey, and on Tammy she had these little bits of linen thread as if they were coming from underneath here. So I'm not sure how she did it, but I'll show you how I did it. I take just a little bit of linen thread, and I'll show you how much. 2 bits. They'll be about the same. And they're just little bits. So, what is that? 4 inches, 5 inches, fold it in half, and make it into a knot. Are you wondering where are you going with this? And it's just for these little pieces to kind of be hanging out from behind a flower. So, 2 ends, they don't have to perfectly line up. Tie them into a knot, maybe, come on. You know, on my blog, I should have like the bow picture of the year or of the week. Because he's always doing something. It'd probably just be of him sleeping all the time. Okay, so that's going to go here. We could start building this thing. So I'm going to put just maybe 2 dimensionals on the back of the big flower because I still have to tuck in all of those. Oh, I haven't cut the bright little migraine makers. This one gets glued down. The copper iridescent type foil. I have to cut those. This one could go here. Oh, that's pretty. Let me find them. They're upside down. Here, I'll let you see how pretty it is. Ooh, I mean, like the whole rainbow in just one little piece, without fail. Okay, so here's this leaf, and I'm going to cut out 2 bunches of these. There, those aren't quite as powerful. Okay, so they're going to tuck in, but we'll do that in a minute. Or should we do it now? Let's do it now. So to tuck these in, like if that was underneath there, it'd be like, yeah, that's like a dragon with fire coming out. So I'm going to cut it in half. And I might end up cutting them a little bit smaller still. So that one, I think that looks good. Let's see what else. Cut it in half again. This one, I had to leave room for the words. That one's kind of pretty there. But you know, thinking I like the 3 of them together, right about there. So this one here, it's too similar to the first one, so I'm going to give it a haircut. See, that looks better. Then just one more, and that can go like right there. That's a crazy fire breathing flower. Making it just a little bit shorter so I could tuck it in better. So the thing is, after you get these all in line, like right where you want them, then you have to pull it apart to put glue on them. But I have kind of a hack. I'll show you. So first of all, you know we don't have many dimensionals under there. So if I get a dimensional or 2, maybe I could tack some of them down. So the dimensional's right here. That's kind of holding this one. Okay, don't move, you little leaves. I'll do that a few times, and then I'll put liquid glue under there. That should hold them. Okay. I just did a whole squirt under there. Oh, those are holding down pretty good. Okay, so flowers and leaves are in place. Okay, so for this little thing, I want it to end up like right about there. So like right like, ooh, that looks good. So maybe another one, maybe I could get it to hold that linen thread in place. And if not, and all it takes is just one little bit to hold in place, and it keeps the whole thing right where you want it. Maybe this could be coming out from here. It's stuck down pretty good, maybe not. Okay, there. It's hobnobbing with the leaves. Okay. Because the flower lifted up, I'm going to put a dimensional right there. And that glue will dry clear, so that will be fine. Okay, so that part is done. Now the bow. Oh, I have a trick for the bow. These are inside pieces. So for the bow, so ribbon, when it's one-sided, that could be, you know, hold on. Roomba, I don't know why Roomba does that. Why Roomba is coming out on, it's like the third time today. Okay, I'm going to tell Roomba to go to sleep. Okay, so for the bow, when you have ribbon that's one-sided, okay, I paused that thing. When you have ribbon that's one-sided, if you were to make a bow, you would see the underside. That's not so good. So you can do ribbon ruching, which is when you put adhesive down and you just go back and forth, having it stick to the adhesive, which is fun. Or you could do this. I'll show you. If you like this big, maybe I'm not going to do it that big. And you know what? When Tammy did hers, she cut hers in half. I kind of like it big though. Okay, pull out your handy dandy embossing kit. You're like, I didn't get it. It was in the last mini catalog, but it's coming to the new annual catalog. So it has an embossing tray, which is like this, maybe 2 or 3 times the size. You put your powder in, and then there's a funnel, so you could dump it right back into the container. But these little things, you squeeze it and it opens up, and it also has an embossing buddy. Okay, so that's going to come in handy. So take this, wrap it around. How big do you want your bow? I think I want my bow about that big. Then cut this off. Okay, let's get back to where we were. Wrap it around, right in the middle. Take these, hold it together. Yeah. Then take some linen thread. Put it underneath and just tie a knot. And that's going to make our bow, and we're not having to worry about the underside of it. So there's that one. Then I'm going to flip the whole thing over because I want the little strings on the back of the bow. And it's the back of the bow determined by the underside. The single side is not velvety. Now make this into a knot. So I did just 1 knot on the front, and then I'm doing 2 knots right here. Okay. So thank you to the tweezers, the little picker-upper things. And look at that. Cute as can be. It's okay if you want to go up there. Because when I put this on top, it's cute again. It's really cute. Okay, where were we? Let's get this put right on there. Yeah, that's looking good. So, glue dots. I'll start out with the linen thread bow, because that's normal, that's regular. This other velvet one, doing some fancy things with it. So I took the glue dot, folded it over 2 or 3 times, because I want it to be narrow. I don't want it to be a big old pancake. Okay, that goes right there. And this I'm okay with the ribbon going up the top of the bow and then down. I'm good with that. So glue dots, put one right here to hold that linen thread in place. And of course I'm going to follow it up with liquid glue because that's just what I do. Okay, so that's enough glue dots just to hold it in place. You can see both of the flowers, and this one might be a little bit too long. Do you all have ribbon scissors? I have this pair that I just love. I've seen a lot of people with, do not touch, those are ribbon scissors. I appreciate that. Ribbon scissors. Okay, now all these little bits. The glue dot I don't think is going to hold that velvet bow. So, big old glob of glue, and just let it sit in it so it gets dried. Okay, just like that. Okay, so now we can add these sequin thingies, these self-adhesive, and the words. Here's the words. So I think I'm going to put 5 of them on. I had it all figured out here. That card is heavy. So I'll put one down here and another big one like over there. Then just the plain round one. Because it's copper and gold, I'm trying to get the gold into there so you know I planned it that way and you're not like, was that a mistake? Okay, then the words. Probably should put some on this bow too. The only thing is when I take the picture, sometimes the glue hasn't dried and it's all white still. All whitey then. Okay, so mini dimensionals. Let the fun begin. Sounds like a birthday. And the words on the inside are so nice. Something about you're like a ray of sunshine or the warmth of the ray. We'll do that in a minute. Let the fun begin. I don't like that dot, the hole in the sequin. It's not like I'm going to be stringing it. Okay, fingering glue. Okay, so the outside is done. I think if you're the person that likes the Southwest style, this stamp set is just so perfect for you. I dream to be a Southwest person. Do you know how nice it would be to wake up and it be perfectly warm? Well, maybe I'm thinking about, we have a trip planned to Cabo. Oops, didn't do that good. You are what sunshine feels like. Yeah. But I'm ready to wake up, go out on the little patio, and enjoy the sun. Wouldn't that be nice? One little flower, the little one. Did I clean it? Yeah. I'm ready for that. Okay, and then pale papaya. This designer paper. There's stamps that match all the little patterns. So let's use this one. On the one sample where I did the whoops, I used the bigger one. I think that's too big. So pale papaya. Okay, so Ruby said, Jilly, you know when you stamp, and I know you're getting ink on that layer, and I know you know what you're doing, but it makes me crazy. So what she's talking about is when I do this, and I have the papaya paper right down here, so that we all can see the outline of the white card. She goes, I know you're getting ink on that layer. She goes, and it drives me crazy. She goes, but I know, you always flip it over. So if it drives you crazy, now you know why. Why I do it. Okay, so I'm going to flip this over. And look, it's all clean. Okay, that is just inside bits, inside papers. This one is kind of heavy too. I guess there's lots of layers. But that's what makes it look good, when there's lots of layers and it brings all the colors together. Yeah. Okay, there is today's project. I hope you like it. And I hope you're stunned by the beauty of the sparkly cover and the whole thing. Have a great day. Bye.